Now, amid the country's electricity crisis, the Public Enterprises Minister is seeking intervention from trade union Solidarity. He's written a letter to Managing Director Dirk Herman asking him to provide a list of people with the necessary technical skills to help government address the skills crisis at the power utility. Now, let's get some reaction on this from National Union of Mineworkers General Secretary, William Mabapa. William, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Now, we understand that really at the heart of this is that the minister has not necessarily requested them for the list, but Solidarity were the ones who offered. They had provided him with a list, or sought to provide him with a list of people with technical skills to help address the skills crisis at Eskom. But firstly, as a union, can you confirm that indeed it is a skills crisis, or perhaps it's sabotage or corruption, or all three at this point?
Firstly, let me confirm that we did not get anything either from the minister, because our understanding is that it doesn't matter. For example, if NUM can have a proposal, it is upon the minister or the management of Eskom to approach labor as a unified labor, because there are things that for example, we do have recognition agreement that doesn't single out one union. Now, even when one union can have proposal, if for example, the minister will want to take that into account, the minister must then call labor and say, I got this, and then I think that this proposal, I want to take them into consideration, but labor must work together in doing that. But I'm sure we will then go deeper on the issue to say, I'm sure Eskom has got policies of recruitment, and then how those policies are going to be safeguarded and be done. But let me just raise the point of NUM on this Eskom crisis. In our observation, the crisis of Eskom is created by many factors. One, if you look at Eskom, Eskom came with a strategy whereby when certain employees retire, then they were not replaced. And to us, we think that that strategy may have an impact on the skills itself at some stage, because if you look at the financial report of Eskom, you'll observe that in a year, there were more than 2,000 employees that were leaving Eskom, and in many times those employees were not replaced. And our view always will be.
So in essence, you are in agreement with Solidarity on that one, that there is some sort of a skills shortage, because what happened is when people got their packages and left, they were not replaced. So at the very least, you guys agree on that. So they brought a proposal that let's try and replace those, but by bringing back those that left who had the skills and probably not enough time to ensure there's some sort of a skills transfer to the younger recruits. So would that be perhaps a proposal that you agree to, in as much as it hasn't been formally brought to you to consult broadly?
I think I don't want to find myself having to be in a corner that I agree on a particular one and then I disagree on a particular one, because we did not make a skills audit. And to me, I will say that yes, the skills audit can determine whether the people that has left were of a critical skills, and because I'll ask myself, when people are leaving, as a manager responsible, I will know that I can't survive without this skill. Whether a person retire or whether a person takes a package or whatever, for whatever reason, I will have to find myself as a manager saying that in this department, I can't live, I can't operate without these skills. There are many things that are happening in Eskom, to be precise and honest with you. Let me give one example. I'm sure the biggest thing which is a topic in Eskom is a matter of maintenance of operations of ESCOM. That is the biggest topic that everywhere where you go, you will hear about this. Let me give an example. No matter you can acquire as many skills as possible in ESCOM, the truth of the matter is you may not also resolve the problems that are there in ESCOM. One, you must understand that in ESCOM, you have got an ESCOM and you have got a ROTEC, of which ROTEC is the maintenance department of ESCOM. It's also a subsidiary of ESCOM. Now, the main areas where you will find problems, to me, they are not, if we talk about maintenance, then they can't be in ESCOM. They must then be in ROTEC, because ROTEC is the one that makes maintenance. But when you go to ROTEC, you'll also get more problems. And I'm sure many times we don't focus on ROTEC. In essence, when you go to ROTEC, you'll be told many things. The very same people that were told left ESCOM and all this, majority of them created contractors. They are having engineering companies. They are the ones that are given contractors. Now, you go to ROTEC. ROTEC employees tells you that we are no longer doing maintenance. A majority of the work has been subcontracted to contractors. Mm-hmm. And then you can sit back and ask them. And when you ask them, they say, for example, a unit will be on outage. These contractors will come and do the job. But that unit will never work even a day or 2 days. The very same unit that has been invoiced from a contractor, whose most of them are alleged to be the very same former engineers
employees,
that are owning them.
That has also come up. That has come up, and it is quite a concern, I must say. Apologies for interjecting there. That there seems to be a culture, a javelin culture, even within ESCOM, that needs to be addressed. That there are former employees that leave ESCOM to start engineering companies, and then they provide services for ESCOM, but they're shoddy services at best. Or somehow you have their former colleagues preferring them, and then they just keep coming and coming and coming. But we've heard the CEO saying he's looking into things like that and looking at some of those service providers that have really not offered them money's worth.
Yeah, because to me, I think we must look at where the problem is. Ours is that the power stations are old, they need a lot of maintenance. But the question is, who must maintain? And our knowledge is that it is not ESCOM employees who directly go into manage those maintenance. It is the ROTEC employees that are going to manage. Now, the question that you must then ask today is, do we need skills in ESCOM or do we need skills in ROTEC so that we beef up the maintenance department to do the utmost? Like I'm saying, you go to the maintenance, they tell you that, no, we can't do anything because as employees, we are restricted to, they are even restricted that they must never work any overtime, meaning that if they come to work at 7 o'clock and 4 o'clock, they must leave and they must leave. And from their time when they leave, majority of this time, it is where the contractors come. And obviously, if these contractors come, you can imagine if they come during the night, I'm sure their rates of working those during the night are more than their rate when they then can work during the day, where most of the time during the day, it is ROTEC employees will be expected. And they are saying, you will be working on a machine, hoping that you are going to finish with this machine, maybe within an hour. And then before you finish, you are told that, no, we're not going to pay you overtime, you must leave. A contractor will come. And he says the following day, when you come, the contractors has script that saying that you are to finish in an hour. Script it. Even by tomorrow when you come, it will have not been finished. You have to start to reassemble it again. And then when you raise these issues, you will find that you are making people angry. And then you can see a situation where you can see that these contractors go there. Their purpose is not to maintain, but their purpose is to make sure that they have got a job on a daily basis, because they say even things that you know as a technician that this thing was not having a problem. The one that was having a problem is this one. But the following day when you come, something that was never having a problem has got a problem.
All right. William, so these problems are well documented. All of us are quite familiar with them. Will you perhaps be writing to the minister yourself, similar to Solidarity, and perhaps putting proposals for him to just get going so that Eskom can start functioning?
I think as a responsible minister, and if he feels strong that Eskom has got challenges, and he knows that there is labor, I'm sure love letters can be a process of how we manage issues. For example, you will meet with CEOs in companies. You will meet, because in companies, yes, you can meet with CEO and the chairman of the board. But what is strange in Eskom, I must emphasize, what is strange in Eskom, despite all the problems in Eskom, you will never find a chairman of Eskom or the board of Eskom inviting you as a stakeholder to say, you know what, we are making this observation because the company is not running well, or the minister saying that as labor, I'm inviting you maybe to strategic meetings as to what can we jointly do to save Eskom. And we are prepared. We did a lot. I can tell you, we did a lot. In many areas, it is us that were calling meetings, going to Pretoria, going to meet Rand. At that time, it is us that were initiating these meetings. But those meetings disappeared. And to us, those meetings were coming with proposals that at some time, I still recall, we even met the deputy president because he's the one who's then responsible. But I can tell you, it is 2 years now, 3 years, those meetings never took place. And to us, truly speaking, we strongly believe that we are stakeholders that must be respected. We can't always have meetings when we initiate. Those meetings, I can tell you, can ask also NUMSA. Those meetings were initiated through our argument, particularly from NUM and NUMSA at that particular time. And that is why the deputy minister came and the minister was also part. But those, I can tell you, those meetings just diminished, disappeared. And to us, we are not going to react because Solidarity called a meeting a letter. It doesn't matter who write a letter. If one labor unions write a letter and there must be a consideration, that consideration must be done when all unions are represented. And I can tell you, we are not going to jump around, be reactive, but if there's going to be people that are employed because one union, which is not even a majority union, wrote a letter to the minister, we will observe, but we will then challenge the procedures that are applied, because in our knowledge, there are policies and procedures in Eskom that needs to be complied with, irrespective of colors. And that's why the reason why we will not talk much is because we are not going to be told that because now there are black engineers in Eskom, then there is a problem. So that is a fallacy that we are not going to fall in a trap of it. There are competent engineers in Eskom. Problems of Eskom, everybody knows the problem. If they can call us to a meeting, we'll tell them that do 1, 2, 3, and then Eskom will run smoothly. Our members has got more experience as to what are the challenges in Eskom, and they will tell us and we will tell Eskom, but it is because they are blacks and they are undermined. And we are not going to fall in a trap that because engineers are blacks, they are incompetent. There is no such. Some of the people called engineers in Eskom, we are informed they don't even have qualifications. They only did an artisan. And because of their color, they are called engineers.
We'll have to then just speak to the minister on this one and find out what will be the process. But from our understanding, Solidarity will take those with the necessary skills as well as qualifications. But thank you very much for your time, Mr. Mabapa, this morning. That's National Union of Mineworkers General Secretary William Mabapa. To this story.